Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the Royal Link Up podcast. We've got a slightly different agenda for you today. Unfortunately, Beefy can't be here at the moment, but we have put out the cry for help and we've been joined by a far better gamer. We have been joined by Acidic Virus, fellow Royal Link Upper. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How you guys doing?
Yes, very well.
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah.
And of course, we are joined by the one and only Massanevre.
Welcome with 23 days to go, eh?
It is 23 days to go. And for those of you who didn't catch we did a live stream on Twitch last night. Some great interactive moments with the community. Lots of great suggestions of what we can actually do at the event. So we're putting some of those into play. But just a quick plug, make sure you're following us on all of our channels on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all linked in the descriptions or the buttons on the side of the screen. Make sure you're following us. We've got lots of content. We've got content coming out every single day from all members of the Royal Link Up community. So make sure you don't miss a beat and say 23 days ago, we got something special planned for you at
As of
the
recording
event.
today.
As of recording today, this we are recording on Thursday evening. This will be going out on Friday. Awesome. Well, moving on, let me just talk to you about what we got on today. So we're going to have a great chat with Acidic Virus, seeing what he's been up to in the probably almost 12 months since you last seen him. Um, we're and then going to cover the all the stuff out of the Summer Game Fest from last Friday and the corresponding events that's come out since then. And then we're going to round off on Mass's Game of the Week. Um, Great stuff. Well, let's take it away, Mass.
Well, Acidic Virus, welcome back to the podcast. And my first question is, what have you been playing these past 12 months? Tell us all about it.
Past 12 months. Ooh, lots of games over the last 12 months. I took a hiatus from The Long Dark for maybe about 4 or 5 months back in October. I started playing a game called The Bazaar when it came out in closed beta. Is the auto battler. It's a hero builder. It's free to play. It's fully released at the moment, and I still play it every single day. It's a great little time sink. You can kind of pick up and play it whenever you want. They're looking to port it to mobile, is what they're working on at the moment. But it's kind of got a Hearthstone vibes. Games like Backpack Battles or Monster Train, if you know of those sort of card building elements to the game.
Hmm.
So yeah, I played a lot of that when it first came out. And then I guess Blueprints. Up until maybe a month or two ago, I spent a solid 2, 3, 4 weeks playing a Blueprints. It's a puzzle game with roguelike elements where you have to uncover different rooms in an estate. It's got a lot of elements to it. It's very cleverly designed. I wouldn't be surprised if it got like a Game of the Year award.
Wow.
If you like puzzle games, I highly recommend it.
I've only been hearing good things about it from you and others as well. It's
Yeah,
very,
it's
very
got
good.
so much depth, so many layers to it. It is definitely a game I'd recommend if you like puzzle games, and it's pretty reasonably priced as well. So,
You
and then
mentioned
up
you're not playing the Long Dark though anymore.
Well, I took a break. I am actually back on it now. The last couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, I had a special. I picked up a new challenge, or I finished off an old challenge. Started a new challenge that I wanted to do, and there's a tournament that is just started a couple of weeks ago. That's running for a few months, so I wanted to get back into it to do that. So we kind of tried a few things with the channel. Um, some stuff worked, some stuff didn't. So we're kind of shifting back to a higher focus on the Long Dark at the moment. I do have a change in life coming up within the next month or so, which should give me more time to that I'll be able to dedicate to my streaming. So I'm hoping that I can then kind of do a hybrid, kind of go back to maybe doing 1 or 2 streams of a different game, and then 2 or 3 streams a week, doing the Long Dark, keeping that as my core game, but still being able to discover new games, and I hopefully see how that goes. Really,
Is the Long Dark, in terms of the game, has it evolved? Are they bringing out a lot of new content?
So they have a DLC that came out a couple of years ago, which they have pretty much finished now. They're a smaller indie company. They had initially had a 1-year sort of roadmap, and they were gonna kind of bring out extra pieces to the game throughout like a year. They'd be adding new elements to this DLC. Well, they had these content updates. They were very good because they released this DLC, and they would have content updates, but every content update that they had, half of the content was available purely for those who own the DLC, but they also updated and added elements to the base game if you just had the base game. So they've kind of done with their DLC now. I think it was maybe 3 months ago. They kind of did their final installment of everything that they wanted to do with it and promised with it. They still are committed to updating and adding a bit of new content onto the Long Dark itself. They do still have the last chapter of their story, which is due, well, everyone hopes before the end of the year. But they're kind of shifting their focus to doing a couple of other projects, because it's pretty much been their standalone project for the last 7-8 years. That's what their baby has been. They're looking at doing a Long Dark 2, which looks like it's going to be a co-op kind of maybe more top-down third-person style survival game. The Long Dark is a single-player survival game where you are lost and trying to survive in the Canadian wilderness, for anybody that doesn't know what it is. And it's a game that I've played a lot of. We've got, if you saw the TikTok that came out with the most hours, I've got about 3,500 hours in the game, which just kind of shows how much I love it and how much replayability it has. But yeah, they're shifting focus to do like this second, within the theme of Long Dark, but a second game and another IP that they haven't really announced yet. But yeah, they do still add content, and like I said, the DLC they have added more, but I think they're now shifting their focus. But the game has got plenty of replayability. Like, a lot of the stuff that came out on the DLC isn't really my kettle of fish. But the great thing is, if you're not interested in a certain element of it, you just don't have to do it. Right? If you, it's kind of, it doesn't. To me, it's kind of made the game a bit easier. But you can just not use those things and kind of keep that experience to how it was without it. You can kind of pick and choose. They brought a trader into the game, so there's an only other person, not that you ever see them, but there's a guy that you can trade supplies with, because the main thing about the Long Dark is that you are literally the only person that's alive in this Canadian wilderness. There's no other playable characters or no other NPCs other than in the story mode. But in the survival game element, all the people are dead, and that's it. So there was a bit of controversy with the trader, but it's added an extra element to the game, which a lot of people, I think the vast majority of people that play the Long Dark have enjoyed and are very receptive to these changes. It's just I'm not the vast majority, so but it's all good. It's all good.
So just on the other note, you said that there was a couple of games you were thinking about also streaming. Do you know which those games are, or have you got ideas as to which ones they might be?
Well, I promised that I would. I wanted. So this is going way back. Before Baldur's Gate 3 came out, I decided I wanted to replay the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, having no idea that Baldur's Gate 3 was supposed to come out. So I did stream through the original Baldur's Gate, and then I stream through Icewind Dale, which is also a D&D within the same Forgotten Realms. And then I was supposed to stream Baldur's Gate 2, but we never actually got around to doing it. And in the process of actually streaming Baldur's Gate 1, which I think ended up taking me a year, purely because I was TLD, or The Long Dark was still my main game that I was doing things on. So we were trying to dedicate like 1 day a week, 1 stream a week to playing Baldur's Gate. The problem is it's a Dungeons and Dragons role playing game, and there's so much in the game that you can do. You know, dedicating like 5, 6, 7 hours a week, it would take you a long time. But yeah, a good friend brought me Baldur's Gate 3, and I was like, well, I want to play 1 and 2 before I play 3. That's why I started playing it again. And sadly, we've still not got around to playing Baldur's Gate 2. So I'm hoping to get my Baldur's Gate 2 playthrough not out the way, enjoy it, do that, and then actually experience Baldur's Gate 3. 2 years after it's released at a quiz. So that's definitely one of them that I would like to play. Anything else? I don't have anything set in stone. I like quite quirky games, indie games. I can very easily just have a look at what's recently released on Steam, have a look at something, and be like, oh, that looks interesting. I'm just going to buy it and I'll play it. And I enjoy like exploring those sorts of games. So, it might be a case that we have like a variety game or something, something that takes 5 pieces, like Blueprints. Like I brought Blueprints, I thought I might be good to stream. I got really into it and lost like 3-4 weeks of my life playing it with like, I got about 20 sheets of paper of notes written down, hundreds of screenshots, just something that can just take you and go and just kind of like, share the enjoyment of the game, really.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah. So in terms of this year's Raw Link, the 27th annual Raw Link Cup, which is kicking off on the gaming 6th of July, what games are you most looking forward to playing this year's Link?
The Long Dark. The Long Dark.
I mean, I feel like I'll probably be playing a lot of the Bazaar between the downtime, which is fine by me. I think the one that I'm most excited to play, and I think will be great fun, is Repo. I can see a lot of hours getting into Repo. That looks like great fun. I've played it solo, and it's fine as a solo game. It really shines when you play with friends. I've done a couple of the co-streams with some other streamer friends, and we had like 4 or 5 of us playing together, and it's just an absolute riot. It's amazing. I think it's a really clever game. It's a really good game. So I think we'd have great fun with that at the Royal Link Cup.
Is there any game at the Royal Link Cup you're not looking forward to playing at all? Is there anything that you'd rather not participate in?
That I would rather not play? Probably anything that's going to make me buy it, and I'm purely going to end up playing it on the Link Up. Like, I love the Civ games. I'd like to try Civ 7, but like, as Civ 6 echoed when that came out, like, I just don't have the time really to do multiple games at the same time. And I find it difficult to try and jump between different types of game. So like, if I had the time to play it outside, but I don't really want to. And Civ games are like notoriously ridiculously expensive. And if you really like Civ, then there's like 100 DLCs to the game. And of course, the people that like Civ want to play with all the DLCs and stuff. And I'm fairly sure in previous ones it's a case of, well, if you don't all have the DLCs, you can't play with those DLCs, right? So, it makes it tough. It's an enjoyable game, but if someone that's really excited for playing something like that, that's got all the DLCs, and I'm like, well, I don't want to spend 50 quid for a game that I'll probably play once or twice at the Link Up and then be done with it. But it's also not one of those games that you can just get a refund for, right? Because a Civ game is easily lasting 5-6 hours in a first instance.
We're definitely going to have, I think we're going to have people playing Sins 2 while some people are playing Civ. I think that's definitely going to
Yeah,
happen.
I'd like to do. I haven't played Sins 2 since last year's Link Up, so I look forward to playing that. I hope it still works because I obviously got it on Epic originally, and I don't think I ever transitioned it across to Steam when there's an opportunity. So
Yeah.
I hope there's no issues with that.
No.
But yeah, Sins 2. I need to get Tempest Rising. I enjoyed the Command and Conquer games when I was much younger. Generals is fine. I realise now I'm horrendous at RTSs. But if Tempest Rises is on the wish list, so I'm keeping an eye to see if it goes on sale. Hopefully, I'm prepared to sort of buy that, and if it feels like it's going to be a big game for the Link Up.
Is there anything else you're looking forward to though at this year's Link? Anything particular with relation to food, perhaps, or?
That local pizza place that we got last time that does extra big pizzas, I definitely am down for one of those.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the usual. I mean, for me, it's now really it's just enjoying spending time with friends. Some people that you don't see very often, maybe once or twice a year, and kind of not worrying about work and stuff like that. Having a few beers and having terrible food, just like gaming with people, and interacting and just kind of hanging out with your mates really for a whole week. That's what it's all about these days for me.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Yeah.
Well, there was one thing suggested on both on the live stream and on some of the TikTok comments that was what we should all do. And I think this will play up to your strength more than anyone to City Virus. Everyone in the group has to select a game that is under £1 or $1.
All right. Yeah.
But it can't be free. So it can't be. So you've got to spend money, and then like you don't care about it. It's a throwaway game.
Yeah.
And then everyone plays. So we've got everyone that will play one of those games, and we might do 2 or 3 of them a day. And then the person and then we vote who has found the best budget game.
So not necessarily a game that we all play at the same time, just like it could be any sort of like single player game or whatever, which I imagine for £1 you're not going to get much more than a platformer or some cheesy RPG maker thing. So find the best game.
I think it's got to enable us to play together. I think that should be the challenge because there's so many games out there.
True. So something that's got an element of multiplayability or whatever the word would be. I'd be down for that, man. That sounds great. I'll scour through Steam's summer sale or whatever, and well, probably have to do it closer to the time anyway. But yeah, if that's something that people are down with,
I think it'd just be fun, and that's the best thing. If we only play it for 15 minutes, then if we go, this is rubbish. Like it's not even worth your time to refund it.
No, that's it for £1. Like what it's worth giving them £1. So yeah, I mean, I imagine there's probably be a sale on around close to the link, and then if it gets to like a week beforehand the link when we and then you say, right, everybody have a look, because then everybody can get it at that price.
Yeah.
Get everyone's nominations. I think that could be quite fun. Yeah, like you could say, you could have a day, make a challenge out of it or something as well.
Yeah, I agree. That was a great suggestion from the community. Well, almost on that unique games aspect, we're going to move on slightly because we recently had Summer Games Fest that took place last weekend and into this week, and I streamed it on TikTok. So if anyone who's watching and joined in, hi again. But I was making notes about games that are coming out this year and next year. So some of the games obviously are preludes to games coming out next year. And I was like, I was making notes about games that could be brilliant link-up games at some point, or that just look super quirky. And the first one off my list was one called End of Abyss. Now, this is a single-player game. Now, City Virus, I've seen you play. What was it? The sort of cartoon-esque style with the cartoon Cuphead, wasn't it?
Cuphead, the
Yeah.
Metroidvania style, painful.
Yeah. So End of Abyss, it's a little bit like that, but a bit more 3D, but it's in space and you're sort of almost not isometric view, but you're sort of looking down at an angle and you're on a spaceship and you're shooting stuff. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. I think you'll quite like that one. But Mouse Pie for Hire is a cartoon black and white noir style game of cartoon mouse, but as an FPS game.
Okay.
And when that comes out, unfortunately, both of these games aren't out till 2026, but they look absolutely brilliant. But Mouse Pie for Hire, PI for Hire, Private Investigator for Hire, looks absolutely brilliant, super fun. And I think that's a game that if it comes out for next year's Link, we'd have a lot of fun with that. Next up, we had a new RTS game coming out next year based on Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones War for Westeros is an RTS game coming out. We haven't seen any gameplay footage, so it was just a like sort of teaser trailer. Obviously, it looked very pretty, but it'd be interesting to see what comes out with that. Great, really interesting concept was a game called The Cube. So all of these, the majority of these games you can wishlist on Steam at the moment, but The Cube is essentially a survival game with a little bit more like a PUBG sort of type element, but you play on cubes. You play on a massive cube, and the cubes start turning. You're in space, so you might be on one plane, and then one of the it's like a Rubik's cube. So and then it starts turning, and then you get taken to a completely different point to play in a completely different instance. So like the map just really starts terraforming, and it looked superb for a Link if we were able to certainly prioritise that. The one game, and I had to message Mass straight away when I saw it, was Killer Inn. And this basically just looked like the Link Up game. So Killer Inn is up to 24 players, based in a mansion. It's like a murder mystery game. Real proper, almost set up in the way that the actual board game Cluedo is, but like you get one person who's the killer, one person gets murdered, and then people have to work out who's done it. But then people can double cross, and then people can kill other people in the game as well to throw off stuff. So it looks a real game. That game I think would do absolute numbers at the Link Up. I think people would love it.
You can request access to the beta as well via Steam at the moment for it.
I have requested access.
So covering our screens from Vedic then, yeah?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. We also had another game just for people's attention. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I played that game earlier in the year. I've thoroughly enjoyed the game. There is an additional set of quests and mysteries and content coming out called Order of the Giant. That is dropping on September the 4th this year. Game that you will probably be interested in, Mass. Do you remember a certain game that we played in airships?
Oh, yeah, Guns of Icarus. Are you talking about Sand?
No, I am talking about Stars of Icarus, which is from the same people, and they have built a version in space.
Okay.
So you work as a team, you got your spaceship, you got to go around fixing it, you got to go around you fighting it. So that game, there's no release date, but I saw that and I was like, we played Guns of Icarus in the past, we're probably going to play Stars of Icarus.
PvP.
Yeah, absolutely perfect game for us. Now, one game that caught my eye that I'm interested in, but is a single player, is Mind's Eye. So that's getting a lot of hype at the moment. Go and check out Mind's Eye. But there is a game that I think could work really well for us. So back in 2018, a game got released called Scum, and it's a
Yeah, the prison one, isn't it? On an island. Is that the one where you're like prisoners on an island or criminals?
yeah. So it's a little bit GTA like,
Yeah.
um, but next week that game is coming out of early access,
Hmm.
and it's getting and they drop massive trailers about content that's coming out. But you can pick up that game. It's like 33 quid on Steam. You can pick it up on DL Compare for like a tenner. So I think that game we can do a lot of content on that game. I think we can do private stuff on that as well. So it might be quite fun to look into. One of the games that we had previously spoken about, but they gave a big rousing ovation to, was Splitgate 2. So this is a new free-to-play first-person shooter. We obviously played X Defiant last year. Ubisoft has shut that down, as Ubisoft does. But this new game, so it's very similar. So this is a cross between traditional Capture the Flag and Portal.
Portal.
Yeah. So you have gates that you can fire. You got to shoot people and capture the flag, and then you've got these areas that you can basically shoot at and create portals round the map as well. So
Sounds a bit chaotic.
yeah, I downloaded it, had a play earlier today. Great fun. It's a 4v4 game mode, but also dropping has just dropped is their PUBG, Fortnite, Battle Royale style mode as well. So the last one standing. How that works with portals, I don't really know. But there's loads of different 24 player game modes. There's lots of stuff coming on that game. So that it's free to play. We'll probably give that a go at the link. It was very quick. Again, and as the older I get, the reflexes are definitely starting to slow down.
Got to take up a racket sport, table tennis. They said.
Oh yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of games sort of coming out, hitting. But those were some of the games that I thought were just absolutely cool games that whether we have get them in this year for the link up or we get them in for next year or games coming out in the next sort of 12 to 18 months. Awesome. Right. Well, just about out of time. However, as always, we have got Mass's Game of the Week, who we're potentially going to be playing at the link up.
Yep. This game is brought to you by Cookie Monster, aka his own dumb self. It is Rematch. It's from the developer Slowcap and publisher Slowcap and Kepper Interactive, if I pronounce that correctly. So Rematch is control one player on your team and compete in fast-paced 5v5 matches from an immersive third-person perspective. Team up with your friends and join the action. So this is something that always sort of crossed my mind in the past when playing football games was, why can't we just have it so we can sort of control a player each and there we have it. They've got it here with Rematch. So I don't know how many football fans there are within the link. I don't think it's as prominent perhaps as some of the other games like first-person shooters and strategy games, but I still think this could be quite interesting. It's not actually released yet, but it is available as of the 19th, so it's only just a week away now via Steam. £20.99, but there are other advanced access editions you can pay sort of £30 or £40 for other bits and pieces as well. So, but it's something that we haven't played at a Raw Link before. A football game, I don't think that's never happened.
Yeah.
Even as just a 1v1 sort of thing. So I think did we ever play? I don't know if someone played Championship Manager against or Football Manager against people against one another. If that ever happened.
No, I mean, I've generally played Football Manager on downtime when people are playing a game that I don't particularly want to play, but we've never done
Yeah.
a Football Manager game. I mean, it just takes too long to play. You couldn't really facilitate it. I've seen a few streamers get early access to this football game. Could be quite fun. A few people in comments have always said it'd be great if we played clubs on EAFC. Clubs basically works. Each person on your team is a real life player. So you play as one player within the team. But there's not enough interest in the group to ever warrant anyone apart from really from me to buy EAFC, unless it was completely free or you got it on your EA pass. I don't think we'd ever get people paying money for a football game. It's the only sort of worry I would have.
I mean, yeah, I could think of definitely off the top of my head, I could think of 5 people who could make a one team
Yeah.
against randoms. Definitely with potentially myself, Ace, the Amazing Sniper Beef, yourself, Devastate, and then of course, aka, Cookie Monster, aka his own dumb self.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Acidic Virus, I don't know if it's something that would interest you at all.
I mean, I'm not really built for sports ball, and my recent fantasy football standings at the end of the league goes by. I do not have the greatest insight or knowledge into football, so that's probably
Wow,
not gonna...
you still did you not do better than Beef though?
I mean, that's not hard. I think he was bottom. I managed to stay off the bottom and from being the last in the group, which is
It's all right. I peppered out towards the end of the season, so
It's a marathon, not a sprint, boys.
indeed. But there you have it. Rematch there from Kepler Interactive. So £20.99.
Yeah.
Released 19th of June. So
Awesome.
another option for us.
And if you've got any other games or any suggestions for us, make sure you put them in the comments. We're always reading them, always keen to see what other people have said. But I think we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much to Acidic Virus for coming on this episode of the pod. You can find him on twitch.tv /acidic /acidic _virus _ link in the description. Link we'll have it pinned. But thank you very much for coming on. You'll see a lot more from Acidic Virus. He'll be streaming throughout the link up, and he'll be appearing on camera along with all of the other gamers. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. My name has been Devastate.
I've been Massanivri.
And I'm Acidic Virus.
Catch you later, peeps. Goodbye.
Bye.